New data just released shows DoorDash is absolutely dominating, which clearly means you're going to make more money, right? Not exactly. So look at this. Let's build the picture here, really at the peak pandemic of customer demand, because you have to order food delivery if a lot of restaurants are closed. November 2020, look at this market share from second measure with monthly sales. So DoorDash already commanding 50% of the market, Uber Eats at 23%, and Grubhub a decent 18% respectively. Fast forward a year later, November 2021, DoorDash 57% and Uber Eats 24%. Then a month later, 58% and 24%. Well, March the following year, DoorDash 59% market share, but Uber Eats 24%, Grubhub slipping. May, DoorDash still at 59%, Uber Eats still at 24%. And the most recent data released just last week at the time of filming this video from the same company, same metrics, monthly sales here, DoorDash at 65% market share, at least when it comes to monthly sales here. Uber Eats slipped slightly, 23%. Grubhub continuing to slip, even with their backing, a little bit of backing by Amazon, to just 10%. So yes, by the numbers, we see over time, over years, DoorDash is just dominating, at least when it comes to monthly sales here. But as a Dasher, there's absolutely critical things you have to know and do in 2023 and beyond. So number one, if I see more sales, more and more every single year, taking away market share from other players, you would think that, yeah, wouldn't you be busier? Not necessarily. Listen, the way that this stuff goes is it's going to vary by marketplace. My market here in Pittsburgh can and will perform differently than where you're at. Let me know actually down below in the comments. And then seasonality as well. But we've seen data from DoorDash saying that this is the busiest time of the year right now, February. So let me know, well, how do you measure that actually? Let me ask you, comment down below. How would you even measure if it is the busiest time? So I would look at how many orders am I getting when I'm online? Is it instantaneous? If I decline, am I getting just constant orders? You know, driving during the same days and times, weekends, dinner rush, whatever it is. Number two, if I'm driving in slightly different areas, different power strips than normal, or even different market segments, is it still busy? I would look at the peak pay, and if your marketplace has challenges, but how much is the peak pay? Is it better than Q3, well, Q2 maybe last year? And is it consistent over most days? And then, of course, the new order screen, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, they've been playing around with that for years. And now that's kind of the status quo. That doesn't show you the expected customer tip. Anyway, is that amount more, at least anecdotally, are you noticing more general pay and or hourly pay? And actually, that reminds me, get our earnings tracking spreadsheet. It's super easy. Punch in your data and you can actually answer some of these questions by actual numbers to see exactly the numbers in your marketplace for your driving. How successful is it? That's at yourdrivermike.com. There's one set of stats that says, okay, well, they're just dominating 65% of monthly sales, but then there's what DoorDash is kind of actually doing. So look at this, specifically from DoorDash's own Q3 2022 letter to investors. And it says DoorDash's standalone adjusted EBITDA benefited from leverage on Dasher costs as total Dasher costs per order declined quarter over quarter and year over year, which helps drive improvements to net revenue margin and sales and marketing expense. Now look here, that qualifying footer, it says total Dasher costs include Dasher acquisition costs, so spend on marketing, on new driver bonuses if they have any, Dasher pay at large, and the cost of Dasher benefits. But it's not all bad. I still feel like DoorDash, being a Dasher, is one of the best, if not the best, side hustle in 2023. Still, just for bonus pay, order frequency, basket size, which in turn determines your overall pay size, the tipping, I think just overall at large. Yes, it's not perfect. I understand that. But in 2022, we saw a lot of new things as well. We saw package pickup. So I just got to go pick up a return and then drop it off at FedEx, UPS, USPS, super easy. We saw gas buddy integrations, helping you save a bit on gas. That's not a huge feature. We saw safe dash features and other safety features. And really on the macro, a heavier focus on that grocery and non-restaurant verticals. I really see in all of these quarterly calls, let me know if you agree with this, but DoorDash is really focusing on non-food deliveries. But let's talk about seeing this new data here and seeing older data, frankly, that we saw in Q2 of what's going on here. What to do and what to watch out for. DoorDash will continue to look to streamline their expenses. I just showed you that segment from the Q3 letter. They're going to continue to do that in Q4 and here in Q1 of 2023 is lessening the expense line. Also, conversely, they're going to continue to look at that non-restaurant verticals and giving you at least some other options, which I do like. So verdict, here's what I would do as far as prep with your side hustle in general wealth building. Listen, these companies, they're going to continue to streamline. They're going to continue to look out for margins and profits. It makes sense on the business front. Are we going to see more competition from like Grubhub and their Amazon partnership? They've slipped a bit from what we've heard in the Q4 call from Uber. What are they focusing on? It's really the Uber One membership, akin to Dash Pass as well. And not a ton of talks about driver bonuses, features, improvements, other than what these companies just push out to the apps in their respective newsrooms. So if there's one thing I would tell you right now, after listening to both of those calls and just being in this space for as long as I have, that's I would diversify now. I've been saying this for a while, but I would not put all of my eggs into DoorDash. I would not put all of my revenue streams into just food delivery. Frankly, I would not, and I don't put all of my revenue streams into just the gig economy itself. Now, having said that, I survey you, and if you're just looking to pay off bills, save up for a large purchase, or have some extra spending money, that's fine. If you're like, I'm only going to do this for a month or 3 months. But if you really want to build some wealth, take some of that, hopefully liquidity, some money that's discretionary that doesn't have to go to paying down debt and bills, that I would use that for something you can control. Investment portfolio, assets that you own, or other business opportunities that, again, you have more control over than just some of these gig apps. I mean, it's not bad, though, that DoorDash, if you're doing it, if you're considering being a Dasher, that they're continuing to get that market share. They're having new features, I think, even better and faster and more so with new features than Uber Eats and Grubhub especially. So if you're doing this in the short term, I think that's a good thing. If you're doing this in the long term, I think it's just a little bit of a warning sign that tapering, especially when it comes to expenses, we've seen it in Q3. It's happening now. So I just want to let you know. If you got value in this video, drop a like. You can also click or tap the screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.